ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
All right, we're glad to have you back on the show. The program is called Press Roundtable. And this evening, I am pleased to welcome a journalist per excellence and a media practitioner. She is Enidoye Jackson. She is going to be with me on the show this evening. Eni, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Angel, for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
Honestly, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, my name is Angel. Welcome, my angelic angel, as I'm being called. And first of all, let's take the stories coming from Anambra State. Two Reverend Sisters of the Roman Catholic Church have been remanded in police custody by the Children Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Court sitting in Oka, Anambra State capital. They were remanded on Monday following the arraignment of the Reverend Sisters Angela Onyenachibe, age 42, and Chiemelie Jacinta Yvonne, Mother General, age 41, on a fourth-count charge of conspiracy obtained by false pretense, punishable under sections 495A and 386 of the Criminal Code, caption 36, volume 2. Okay, the revised laws of Anambra State of Nigeria in 1991 and illegal dealings on children as well as fraudulent adoption punishable under section 32B of the Children Child's Right Law of Anambra State 2004. According to Chidima Ikanyongo, the media aide to the Anambra State Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Welfare, Mrs. Ifi Obinabo, the defendants, to the satisfaction of the Honorable Court, each pleaded not guilty of the offences when the charge was read to them. Now, responding to questions during the arraignment, the two Reverend Sisters stated that they both hailed from Imo State and belonged to a Catholic congregation known as St. Francis of Compassion, also based in Imo, adding that they were staff members and attendants at the Sam Damien Community Children's and Old People's Home, located at Obosi in Anambra State, Ikenyonwu said. Now, she added that the counsel to the defendant in a bail application prayed the Honorable Court to grant bail to the Reverend Sisters on the ground that they are Reverend Sisters of the Roman Catholic Church and would religiously attend their trials whenever called upon to appear before the court. Then you can see that on the television. And we are talking about two Reverend Sisters who were involved in fraudulent adoption of children. And this is quite disheartening, it's quite pathetic. And to think of the fact that a reverend sister could perpetrate such an act. When I was reading the stories, when I was going through the stories and what really happened and how they were charged to court and all of that, begging the court to grant them bail on the ground that for the fact that they are reverend sisters. But the action in question is what we're trying to look at. What can you decipher from the actions?
Okay, looking at what has played out here, although they are accused, the court has not, told us that they are guilty of the offense yet. So it's still alleged, but it is a very sad one. Most of the times when we look at some of these things that happen in society, you'd find out, especially when it has to do with adoption of children, you'd find out that it is people who are trusted by the families. These are the people who carry out these kind of acts. So it is very important that parents are careful with who they trust their children with. It's not even out of place to say don't trust anybody. It's not out of place to say it, because we've heard uncles, we've heard aunties, mommy's brother. Who would ever think that mommy's brother would do such a thing to a child, or mommy's sister? So if you cannot trust your own family with your children, then who can you trust? Would it be an outsider? I think parents should be very careful with who you trust your kids with. I don't know how these reverend sisters got these children or where they took them from, but we have it reported that they are they had allegedly picked up these kids and adopted these children. Let's use that word now. So parents need to be very careful with who they trust and how much they trust who they trust with their children. It is very important. Put your eyes on your children. A lot of times you see kids just playing around, going from just walking around the area, and it begs the question, where is your mother? Oh, where's your father? Who's your guardian? Who is watching over these children? Sometimes we just wonder. You see a child just wandering, and anything can happen. Anyone can just pick up that child. So I don't know why parents do that sometimes, take their eyes off their children completely and just, I don't know if it's to say whether to say they're busy or what, but I'm using this opportunity to advise parents to be very careful with who they trust and be very careful the extent to which they trust who they trust with their children.
Yeah, irrespective of the fact that the person that's occupying a religious position or belongs to a certain ecclesiastical circle doesn't really guarantee the safety of the children. Like you just rightly said, that you have to be very, I just want to pick that word, being careful or who you trust, because it goes a long way to tell that if, as in the parents, if you're not careful, anyway, we cannot be too careful as a matter of fact in trusting. But then, if you don't put your eyes on ground, know that everyone should be a suspect.
True.
Everyone should be a suspect.
That
you belong to a religious organization, that you're a pastor, that you're a reverend sister, that you're a priest. I remember some time ago, my grandfather, who robbed him off his vehicle when he was using Mercedes, was someone who claimed to be a priest, like a reverend father. The person was docked and, as a matter of fact, imprisoned. Do you understand it? And most of these people, most of them are not really actually that's what they say they are.
Yes, they are humans. We must remember that they are humans.
But most of the time, some people will just put on the regalia to impersonate and carry out that particular act, so that the image of these people. Yes,
that's another thing.
Yes, the image of these people will be mad.
Exactly.
Now, I think they have to make a proper investigation, a thorough investigation on these, and also look into what really pushed them. They have to look at the whole circumstances.
Yes.
What really pushed them in? Have they been engaging in this kind of fraudulent activities? That's abduction. Have they been really? What role do they play? Are they actually reverend sisters?
Where did they get these children from? and all of those investigations needs to be made.
And then the priest on that day, you know, before someone could come up and have find himself or herself in this kind of mess, the person must have had that trait. You know, you must have little by little.
Yes.
You'll be observing that this is what he or she is capable of doing, and they also need to reach out to the priest because they've already cited a particular parish, St. Francis or whatever.
Yes, in that state.
In the Enimo state, that's where they hail from, or where they are serving. But I think they really have to, as in, go to their files, know what's happened, if they have been on this or any questionable character.
If they're really from that parish too.
If they're really from
thorough investigations have to be made. Let's really know what happened. Because like you stated, it could just be anybody wearing the uniform, exactly, impersonating these Reverend Sisters. Or on the other hand, it might also be Reverend Sisters. On the other hand, you don't know. So until investigations are made, we are eager to find out where the story is leading and to also find out the result of the investigations that's already been carried out.
Exactly. And now, but then, although they could be traced, but you imagine that kind of action. If anyone can be found perpetrating such an act, evil act, why will you not trust the person? The person could run away because you know what is facing you. You know what is. So I think they should stay back. I think because if you're granting them bail, are they different from other people? If they really distinguish themselves from the society, they shouldn't be found in such a mess. How would you now trust someone who
is already involved in
a criminal conduct? Allegedly, because he's not been found guilty. Yeah, how will you now trust such a person? It's going to be very difficult.
And again, we need to also go back to the law now.
Okay.
Because I remember there's some cases, I'm not a lawyer, but we've heard lawyers analyze some of these cases, and we've heard them talk about some of these people who should be granted bail while investigations are on. And then after the investigations, you definitely do what the law says you should do to someone who is found guilty on such a crime. So we'd always take it back to the law. What does the law say? That is what should be done with these sisters, because nobody should be above the law.
Nobody should be above the law. And, well, parents also have to be very careful who goes to their children, how complacent you are with your children. The safety of your children should be the first thing. You should think about your children because anything can just happen. And you cannot just say because there's a reverend sister, the life of your children is secured. No. Now, this is really going to give us a food for thought.
True.
Yeah, because knowing that the reverend sister could involve in such an act will teach you a lesson on how to take care of your children. Now, there's also another story. In Edo State, a man who was arrested in Edo State for dressing his 4-year-old girl in skimpy dresses to dance inappropriately on social media has revealed his motives. According to him, he dressed her in skimpy dresses and posted the content on her Instagram page in anticipation of her upcoming birthday. He said parts of the strategy was to make his daughter a celebrity. The father, simply identified as Suleiman, was arrested on Sunday after the controversial post went viral, sparking outrage and concern for the child's well-being. Now, in a video released by the state police commandant cited by the media online on Tuesday, the father said, "I am used to watching other people's content creation, comedy, and those other people, so I think that she is too small, so she cannot be doing comedy, so I decided to bring her up in a model way, to be dressing like a model and to look like a model." When pressed further about the appropriateness of his actions, The father revealed his intentions. This month is her birthday, May 28th, so I wanted to mark her standing. I want her to become a celebrity. The incident sparked widespread concern and condemnation from and used as adult content in an undisclosed hotel in Auchi, Edo State. The Commissioner of Police, Edo State Command, CP Fonsho Adeboye, immediately drafted a tactical team to go all out and arrest the suspect and his cohort. Within 12 hours, the father of the girl was arrested. Investigation has at a very tender age. Now, you want your daughter to be a celebrity. Is just that the best way to have your daughter to be a celebrity? The baby will go naked, then you go to the social media and she will dance, and then you post it, mortgaging her future. Her future is involved. What can you say about this?
What is he teaching her? Let's start from there. Well, I'd like to start by appreciating the people who raised the alarm when they saw these videos.
Exactly.
We've seen various videos of children in their windows or just watching and saying, oh, this is how she does, this is what she does all the time, and nobody speaks, nobody says anything, they just complain. Continue. So if you're doing something and you have been warned and you continue doing it, it means you now know you are wrong, but you don't want to stop it. So it's looking like when the publicity came with this story, he just
a page. But what do you think should be done to this father?
Exactly what the law says. That's what should be done. When you this is against the law, and that is why it is being taken out like this.
I think it's child abuse as well.
Exactly. Other videos that he has been posting, so he has been consistently doing he has been consistently putting this child out there the wrong way. It broke my heart when I saw this video. It's not even funny. Forget the fact that I just giggled, all right? But it is not funny. Seeing the fact, yes, because she has not gotten to the age of accountability where she gets to sit down and say, okay, this is where I want to go, or this is what I want to, this kind of life I want to live. You're already putting her on the path of the wrong. There are parents who train their the right, morality, but at the end of the day, you to do to make her a celebrity is to make her go nude online. That is outrightly wrong. He should be given the orientation like some people said,